and then there is no boss in the team, right? It's a teamwork, right? Everybody have to, as an agile team, right? The responsibility have to be shared by the team, right? Whether it is good or bad. That's the entire concept of agile goes by people, right? And
so this is a CEO pitch. This is a CEO pitch. People should be happy, motivated. Forget that. You are a test leader. So
right.
see.
So how skilled and equipped my team to jot down all the things which need to be tested. That's the thing, and that's the main thing, right? Whether my team is equipped to latest, and they are also technically equipped to undergo and complete the testing. That's the
okay. I'll give you certain of the aspects here, which is pretty much going in the industry, specifically to product companies. I'll not touch upon other two captives and services here. A, with the shift in technology trends, the skill set has depleted a lot at the test side. For a test leader, it has become a challenge to make the work moving, the technical work moving, at the same point in time, upgrade the skill of people, especially from the manual activities to the automation activities, whether it is web services, performance, automation, hardly matters. So the challenge comes here is that by virtue of being in the culture we are into, we do not want to be forced or pushed too hard. At the same point in time, we do not want to be less appreciated, right? So the challenge is very ingrained, because of which the motivation impact comes in, which is there in that slide. And you have no other choice but have to fire few people at the end of the journey to free up your investment and get the right investment into the system. Right. So kind of very complex. I would not treat this as a very small thing. Also syncs up very much with technology, right? So we again can take this offline, but just wanted to tickle that point that it's not about my people, 10, 20, this many hours, this much execution. Oh, I'll put them into trainings, I'll do this. No, that era is gone. It's more dynamic.
Sorry, Saurav, I have to interrupt here. We are really running short of time.
Okay.
I request, we will take all the other questions offline. Any questions? Saurav will be here till the end. You can just get in connect with him. Right now, yeah.
Okay, so let me conclude this. What was the solution? Solution was that there was a single person who was brought in that organization. He actually had a discussion on all these. He actually had put a proposal to all the executives along with the architects, have vetted it on people, process, technology side. And the interesting point which I wanted to touch upon was that is all three different individuals who are so strong individuals, what they are thinking independently, that single guy has to think now. That is the definition of test leadership today, which is not so easy. How many times have we dealt with multiple scenarios to touch upon, right? So, how it worked and what not, that we will discuss later, but I wanted to tickle the mind that how the shift has come in and how aggressive and dynamic it has become to converge, to think at a wider perspective, keeping those points into mind. Okay? So guys, thank you so much. You have been very interactive. It was very energetic for me as well. Unfortunately, in the interest of time, Varghese will be penalized. We'll ask him next time for some, good session of coffee, etc., so that he's also engaged. But thank you so much for being so patient. I'm pretty much here to take any questions around, and we'll be happy to brainstorm or discuss on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurav. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the interactive sections here. And I would like to welcome Srinivas Kulkarni, who is from Barclays. I hope almost all of you who is here knows Srinivas Kulkarni. And basically, as before starting every session, I used to tell, can you please come on front? All the people who is in the back side, if you can just come and sit in the front, that will be great. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. The motivation for this talk, what I'm trying to talk about, what goes into the mind of testers and the idea of mindset, came from one of the discussions I had with few of my friends. the question that is posed was what it makes to be a tester, what kind of very basic thinking that comes into, what makes a tester from somebody who is just out of the college and you want to get into testing. What you can do, what kind of thinking that comes into. This was a kind of a discussion wherein there was a group of people who are about to be graduated from the college, and the question was, can I become a tester? Or do I want to become a tester? So that got me to thinking that is there any ingredient, is there anything that is deep into the person which makes him a tester? How many of you believe if you are a college, if let's say that you are somebody who is passing out this year, you're a software, you have done some CS or instrumentation, electronics, and like some MNC were to offer a job to you, how many of you now think that you are in the back of your career, how many of you would have thought that I will become a tester? Very few. The reason is that there is a stigma associated with our profession, and few things I'm going to talk about. The motivation for me is to say, if you want to become a tester, there is some default behavior that goes into your mind, and the purpose of this talk is to explore, is there any such common trait? If there is one, is there something which is part of your DNA or something that you nurture during your profession? That's the purpose of my talk today. I'm not sure why this particular talk was put into leadership, because the talk is all about an individual tester. As Saurav covered, my idea of leadership is that sometimes leadership is an emergent phenomenon. Good leaders emerge out of the crowd. They don't need a designation. Leader in a group, very ad hoc created group, can be seen as a leader. For example, somebody who is helping victims in Uttarakhand, somebody who is watching them and say, oh, that guy looks like a leader, because he is showing that characteristics. Nobody given him an authority to do that, but he is doing something which is extraordinary. So leaders show up, right? In this case, an individual tester can become a leader. Somebody who is very low in the hierarchy of the corporate can become a leader. But that leadership is a different kind of a mindset. See, I'm unconsciously using the word mindset. So I want to explore this idea that there is a mindset, and I want to see what that mindset is. This is about a particular tester doing the job, not a manager. With all due respect to managers do different things. I'm talking about tester who is doing the job, right? This talk is about testers and what they do. This talk is about what goes into their brains when they do the work, about the minds. Do you believe brain and mind are different? Does thinking emerges from this fist-sized organ inside your brain with some billion neurons going around up and down the body carrying the signals? Is it the seat of your thinking? Or some abstract entity called mind which directs this physiological organ called brain? I don't know. Because since the days of Sigmund Freud, any kind of psychology, and still we are discovering the idea of consciousness, and that is a big topic in itself. We have not been figured out whether brain is the seat of thinking or not. But one part of the what I want to cover here is that is there any connection between the brain and mind and how thinking happens when you are doing testing? Habits. When you talk about mindset, you typically talk about habits, right? When I consciously observe, this is probably a silly example, when I exit out of the door, my habit is to always take left. Maybe I'm a typical Indian driver, keep left. So I take left. It directs me, it's like an autopilot behavior, I always tend to go. So I asked many people, and probably this is the forum I can get some answer to this, what would be an example of a habit of a tester? Any habit, not judging good or bad. Anyone? Yeah, finding mistakes in others. I don't think it's still a habit, but qualifies. Yeah, you tend to disagree with anything and everything, right? That's the stigma. So I'm trying to see if there are any habits that make up a mindset. So there is a connection between mindsets and habits. Attitudes. Oh, this guy is a big bad attitude guy. How many times we heard this thing that, oh, he has a big attitude problem. I have an attitude problem. And in the performance appraisal, how many times you heard your manager saying, you need to change your attitude. What does it mean? And especially when you pick that word and apply it to testing, what does it mean is what we are trying to explore. I'm not sure whether I would be successful or not. You help me to put your thoughts here. Habits, attitudes, minds, brains put together give a characterization to you, persona. A tester, when he is operating in a particular context or a project or a company, gets characterized as something which is not his true way of looking at it. So a mindset is associated with characterization, and in this talk, I am going to present one characterization. There could be many, but I am going to talk about one characterization that I have been trying to understand and explore further. When I have a characterization, I need a means to express that characterization. I need a model. I am going to talk about two models, which I relate to that characterization in this talk. Today morning, Julian's talk blew me off. One thing, okay, how many of you attended morning keynote from Julian? How many did not attend? How many did not attend? All of you? That's good. For me, the key takeaway from the talk is testing in production. 3-4 years back, when I was part of some discussion, when somebody says, let us do debugging in production or testing in production, it felt me that an offense to me. But how can you do testing in production? Have you gone nuts? But today, as Julian says, testing in production is the order of the day. Probably in some chunk of applications, it is order of the day. Right? Now, there have been talks of testing is dead and all that I spoke about in last step-in conference, and there have been 2-3 years back, there have been a lot of reverberation in the testing field about testing is dead as we know, because Facebook and Twitter, right? The kind of models that are propagating, the apples of the world, right? Though they are not typical, but they are trendsetters. So the definition of tester, as we know, has kind of gone. We still live in the world where we study our testing from CST, ISTQB, Roger Pressman, or whatever books that you care to read. Think that there is a process where requirements are there. Somebody is going to write a software for it. There is a component integration happening. Somebody is going to do system testing. Somebody is going to user acceptance testing. There is a release happens. After that, there is a after live production support, right? We have not come out of this cage or cave for all you know. We are still in that cave. Many of us are still in that cave. That's why we have a problem of saying we believe that it is easy, it is quicker, it is cheaper to find earlier in the life cycle than in the late. How many of us critically think about and challenge this notion? Very few. Because we would like to believe what we would like to believe. And for many people, introduction into the software testing is like that. And they stick with that. And there are people, there are companies, there are ecosystems and the business models and all that, and the volume of testing and the imperatives make these people under the cave. There are forces within our ecosystem that do not want these old people or the people who are stuck under the cave, who are yet to see the light of the sun. These few forces want us to remain in the cave. So we have identity crisis in terms of what we are, what we do. So I picked up one a video. How many of you relate to this? Anybody? Any guess what this Office Space? How many of you heard of Office Space movie? Okay. when you go out, when you get a chance, look at this. It's a beautiful movie about the typical IT culture, the bosses, the kind of things and all that happens. And this exemplify, and I got this note from a U-test where they had a post on this, and I picked up this particular thing. Let us quickly move, forgive me for this. Sound.
And you bring them down to the software engineers.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Well, then I just have to ask, what?
Okay, listen to this.
What you do at Initech is you take the specifications from the customers and you bring them down to the software engineers.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Well, then I just have to ask, why couldn't the customers just take them directly to the software people, huh?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because engineers are not good at dealing with customers.
So you physically take the specs from the customer?
Well, no, my secretary does that, or the fax.
So then you must physically bring them to the software people.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
What is happening to testers is something similar to that. Sorry. Okay, so over a period of time, our characterization of testing or testers have something like this. Over a period of time, our managers have told that you are a tester, a manual tester. The very, very funny title, manual tester. You are a dumb person. Even if you understand technology, you are not supposed to think about technology because there is somebody there who is a technical tester who probably gets paid more than you. So you get into that thing. So you are first of all, you don't understand technology. Even if you do, act as if you don't. Second, you are a manual tester, but you're not a domain guy. You can't test banking product, do you? Because you're not domain expert. You don't have domain skills with you. So there is one more head or body created called domain expert or a business analyst. Like that, without our knowledge, people have put characters on our head. You shall behave like this. You are a tester. You know certain things. You don't know certain things. You all know, instead of having one tester, there will be three roles. One is a technical tester, one is automation guy, one is kind of a business analyst, and finally, poor manual tester. This is a business tactic. Okay? Now I'm not talking about from a leadership point of view. I'm talking about as a tester point of view. If you are a tester, you would do what is required and you would grow your skills based on what is needed for the project. Instead of that, what the likes of Bobs or likes of the people are doing is, people are giving us the characters which we are accepting. So we have to challenge that part. Let us again go back to the main question, what testers do. They find bugs. Yesterday I was having a conversation with Ajay about if you take bugs out of the equation of the testers, will anything remain for testers to do? Yes, no? If testing in production becomes a reality, right? You build the product, put it into the production, turn on the analytics, keep watching what bugs are coming, fix the things, put the control group, things running. Then testers will no longer there to find bugs because testers are found by the users. Bugs are found by the users, right? What will happen if bugs are taken away from the equation? We should